Hello, you're watching the Boys Don't Knit podcast. My name is John-Fidel. Thank you for watching today. It is the 5th episode. Today's date is March 9th, 2015. This is already a few different takes. For some reason, I just couldn't get past that intro. I want to let you guys know that when I was doing the first 3 episodes of Boys Don't Knit podcast, I had a huge list of things I wanted to go through. What order I wanted to go through them in, all these different things, and I found out that I was spending so much time planning these things out and very little time recording them, and even more time afterwards editing them. I'm trying to reduce the amount of editing that I do, the amount of planning that goes into them. Hopefully, over time, I just become more natural and get things down. So if I go off on certain things or jump back and forth, I apologize. And I guess to get things started, I wanted to go into what I've been working on. And the last time I did a video, I showed off I was working a cowl. It's the Razorback cowl. It's done in brio stitch in 2 colors. Well, that was on the needles. Now it's off. And I am working on weaving in the ends. But so far, this is what it looks like. I'm very happy with the way that it came out. So it's reversible too. So it has, this is where the side that has the knit in the lime grass color by Patton, and the heather gray is on the pearl side. So see, that's what it looks like on the reverse side, which I think still looks really cute. And this is what it looks like when it's worn. So I guess you could wear it this way. You can, I think, style it up a little bit if you wanted to. I'm really happy with the way it came out. I was tearing out my hair at certain parts because, like I said before, this is my first 2-color project where I alternated the colors on the same row. I've never really done Intarsia before. I think I did a little test swatch of Intarsia, but my color work has usually just been switching in between the rows, so doing a few colors of the main color, then switching to the contrasting color on the next 2 rows. It's never been like the 2-color brio stitch where you're alternating the colors. The seam part was worrying me a little bit because this is a really loose stitch, so I'm like, how am I going to do the seams and everything like that? Plus, I've always done the seams, if this was the knitting part, it was always done on the edge. I've never done where you seam the top to the bottom together. And so all I did was, after I seamed the side together, I left the yellow really long. And since I wanted this one to be the main outside part, I just did a duplicate stitch over it. So it looks like the knits go over the seam to maybe make it a little bit less apparent. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you know how to knit and you saw this, you'd be like, oh, that's obviously where his seam was. But I think to the non-knitters, they wouldn't be able to tell. And this is the seam on the opposite side. At first I thought I was not going to like that, and I wanted to cover it up some way, but I kind of do like it. And when I wear the cowl on the opposite color, and I looked in the mirror from the back, it kind of reminded me of a lizard or dinosaur spine, so I'm going to keep it like that. I think I'm just going to find a way to do the loose ends. Try to just weave them into there. But yeah, that's the Razorback cowl. I'm really happy with it. I'll try to leave a link of the pattern in the description. I mean, I would probably recommend that you maybe experiment with the brio stitch beforehand, before going on to the 2-colored brio stitch. You probably would have a better adjustment to the pattern than I did. Like I said before, I had to back rip on it maybe about 10 or 12 times, or just completely frog the project 10 or 12 times before I actually got it right in the very beginning. But I think I think the author of the pattern, it's from New Stitch a Day. He offers a video class on it, so if you're having a hard time with it, you can always get the videos. I'm a little bit cheap, so I was trying to do it without the videos. The second project I was also talking about starting on that day that I recorded, which I didn't. It wasn't until maybe 2 or 3 days later, was my boyfriend's belated birthday gift, which is the Gengar. So it's looking a little bit more violet in the camera, but the yarn's a purple color. It's by Red Heart. Uh, Normally I don't crochet with Red Heart. I don't know, it's just not a yarn that I like to crochet with. Or knit with. I'm not saying it's a bad yarn. I know a lot of people who make amazing things out of Red Heart, but I actually do kind of like it for amigurumi. I don't know why, specifically why I like it for amigurumi. I think it's because it gets kind of stiff and it shapes out a little bit better than maybe some of the other yarns I've done amigurumi with. But from what I can tell, it looks like my Gengar, just the body portion of it looks like it's going to be about a foot long, maybe a bit bigger or taller. It'll be taller once I get the ears and the legs on, for sure. But I'm looking forward to that. One of the things I did differently, I think, than what most people do, is most people just use one strand of maybe like Aran weight yarn, where I just doubled up on it. So I'm pulling from both the outside and the center. And I used like a G hook instead of, let's say, like an I or an H. So I'm having fun with that. It's been a really easy project to work on. I've noticed that I've been really tired at work lately, so I don't feel as motivated to knit on my breaks and my lunch, but this project, it's so simple that I find it really easy just to work on my lunch and my break. Work's been kind of nuts lately. It's kind of why I'm a little bit drowsy and out of it, and kind of like the past couple days. They've changed up my schedule, so they've had me on these really weird AM shifts where yesterday I went in at 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. And the day before I worked from 11 a.m. to 6:30. So normally I would just say, oh, let's go to sleep right after work and then just wake up when it's time to go to work. But the 11 to 6:30 is like a restocking midday type of job, and I have to be on a lot of caffeine to even go at an acceptable pace. So as soon as I got off of work, I was like, time to go to sleep, and couldn't go to sleep. My eyes were super wide, and I just ended up, I think, Facebooking and doing some random stuff, not productive until about 10:30. I managed to go to sleep around 10:30, but then my boyfriend woke me up at 11:30, forgetting that what time I had to be up for work. And he felt bad. I told him, don't feel bad, it's just one of those days. And for a moment, I thought I could go back to sleep. I was like, if I go now, I can have at least 2 hours of sleep. But it was daylight savings, so we lost an hour. So really, I would have only had 1 hour of sleep, and I was just like, I can't go to sleep for just 1 hour. I'm going to sleep through my alarm if I go to sleep for just 1 hour. So I just braved through it, and yeah, I survived. But yesterday, I wanted to make the video, but I was too tired to, so I just decided wait till today. Anyways, I did some stash enhancements. I went to, last week I went to Yana's Needles because I had originally purchased some Cascade. It's like a cool gray color. It's not too cool. It's not on like too much of a blue tint. It looks a little bit more blue on camera. I want to say it's maybe a little bit more of like this color right here. And working with the Brio Stitch, the 2-color Brio Stitch, I really love the way it came out with 2 colors. I want to do more like 2-color work. So either get into Intarsia or something where it's like on the same row, you do a lot of color work together. So I think I want to do a honeycomb hat and have this as the main color of the honeycombs, but have the center of the honeycombs be this color. And this is the color I bought at Yana's last week. So I bought this maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago. This I bought last week. And it's similar to the color I'm wearing right now, but this one's a little bit more brighter and on the blue side, where this one's a little bit darker and on like the greener side. And it has these like really vibrant green threads every once in a while. But I think that's going to look really cute together. This is one of my favorite colors, as you can tell. one. This is out of the Cascade 220, the regular one. I had fun at Yana's as always. Like I said, support your local yarn shops. They need the businesses. Well, maybe your local yarn shops do a lot of great businesses, but I know that we've already had 2 or 3 shut down here in Fresno. So now we just have the last 3. So I want to make sure they get as much business as possible. I try talking them up. All of my friends that knit or crochet are getting into knit or crochet, I always let them know that they should go and visit the local yarn shops because it's great customer service and it's amazing yarns. After I went to Yana's, I decided to go buy from a big commercial store, which was Joann's. I want to do the knit along for Bakery Bears and Connects Knits. It's the spring into socks knit along, and so I bought these 2 yarns. First one is the Premier Yarns Deborah Norville collection, the Serenity sock weight. I've never worked with sock weight before or sock yarn because I've never made socks before, but part of the reason why I want to do this knit along so bad is so I can do my first pair of socks and start getting into that, and maybe like crochet like a remnant sock yarn blanket or something. I've been seeing a lot of people doing that, especially on the Bakery Bears. But I originally thought this would be the main color of the yarn and do the heel, cuff, and toes out of this yarn right here, which is the Patton's Croy Sock variegated yarn. But now I'm thinking I want to switch it. I think I want to make this the main color and make this the toe, heel, and cuff. Because I don't have any crazy socks, and I thought this would make really fun socks. But I also noticed with these colors, they're kind of drifting over from my cowl. So I think I was still being influenced by this, because it's generally the same colors. It's like a lime, lemongrass color with gray, black, and white mixed into it. So I'm super excited about that. I'm not too sure what the rules are. I hear the word rules being thrown around a lot, but it's not on any of the forms in either in the Bakery Bears or the Connects Knits. Because I always hear them talking about it, but I'm always get kind of like fuzzy whenever I hear the rules. But maybe that's just the knitter and artist in me, because that's how I was when I first started knitting. Like I would generally watch the videos and try taking off my own. Same thing with the cowl. It always ends up kind of weird, but it usually works out in the end. So that's what I'm hoping will work out with this knit along. And then after all that, I went to Swatches and I got some more Barocco Ultra Alpaca. So this is the same type of yarn I use for this hat. This one's done in like an ocean colorway. I think this one, I'm assuming it's like a scarlet color. It's like red, a deep red color. Even though I'm trying to do more color work, what I'm thinking is I want one more all like basic solid color red hat, which I'm going to make this out of. And hopefully I have some left over, like I did with this hat, and then I could do a project that uses these 2 colors. Because I do want to get into designing my own knitwear and start off with maybe something small like a hat. So since I'm doing the honeycomb project with this yarn, hopefully I got the honeycomb down pretty well, and I can design maybe a hat that has like a honeycomb brim that alternates between these 2 colors, the blue and the red, and then have like just a basic vanilla like top hat, top part to it. And then maybe I can have my first independently designed something that looks really great. Because I have made one hat before out of like super chunky yarn that everyone says looks really cute, but I'm not really happy with it, and it was just something that I just, I'll kind of make a gauge and kind of do something out of it. And it's really clunky and big. It doesn't look great on me, but it looks great on everybody else. I think it's because my head's already super big, that it just kind of looks amazingly huge on my head, where everyone else that has normal heads, it just looks like a fun big hat. And that's it for my stash enhancements. The only other thing I've been trying to get a start on. I've been really busy lately. It's nothing I can really talk too much until everything is settled. But I've been super busy and I haven't touched my spinning. And I really need to. Part of the reason why I like watching podcasts and watching other podcasters is because seeing what they do and just hearing their excitement about what they're doing and their interest and the things that gets them going with knitting makes me want to keep on track with my projects a lot more, especially with Yarngasm, and hearing all the stuff that she's spinning and she's making makes me really want to keep on track with my spinning. I've been holding out on getting a stainless steel pot so I can start, just rather than boiling the water and dumping it into smaller buckets, I can just boil water in a stainless steel pot and just dump everything in there. But I think I'm just going to buy some buckets and use my mom's stainless steel pots and pour the water from the stainless steel pot into the buckets so I can finally start washing and dyeing my yarn and then starting to spin it up. But that yarn needs to be washed. And so does the yarn I span up. I don't know why he did it. I told him I hadn't washed it, but my boyfriend went and got the yarn that I was showing off on the last episode, and he put his face up to it, and he was like, "Oh God, John, this yarn smells terrible." I'm like, "Yeah, because I haven't washed it, and it was probably had like some alpaca nonsense in it." So, but I really need to get started on washing this yarn and cleaning it up a little bit more, especially since after I wash it, I need to recard it, and I need to do all this before Saturday because I'll have to get back my carders to the guild that I joined. I'm borrowing their carders at the moment, and I'm pretty sure no one needs them right now, but I mean, I don't want to just keep them all to myself. They belong to the guild. Anyways, thank you for watching the episode. If you have any questions or any comments, feel free to leave them or ask them from me. Like I said, thank you to anybody who watches. I know I have about like 15 people who are watching my videos, or maybe like a few less who maybe watch them more than once. I want to thank you so much for continuing to watch my videos or even glancing at them. Like I said, I don't have a lot of people to talk with my yarn about, but actually that's changing now because I joined the guild, and I've actually just recently joined up with the ladies of the Fresno Stitch and Bitch meetup at Starbucks, which there are a ton of fun. I love going over to the meetups. I wouldn't miss them for the world, and it's just so fun like hanging out with them. I don't talk a lot. I'm like a voyeuristic type of person, so I do talk, but I usually just kind of like sit back. I listen to what everyone's saying. They're a really funny group of girls, and I love hanging out with them, and I just love hearing them, what they have to say every single time I meet up with them. And it's funny because one of them, she had just left the meeting around the same time I did, and just found out that she was like, "Oh well, heard you talking about your sock yarn, so I decided to make a stop at Joann's." So I saw her at Joann's after our meeting. Anyways, like I said before, thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.